Okay.
3, 2, 1, and here we are live. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Nice to be back with you on I think it's Thursday night. I sometimes forget what night it is, and we're glad to have with us tonight. I'm going to call it Jennifer Collins because that's the name she's using on the radio show. And Jennifer, tell us who you are and tell us about your new fantastic radio show.
Jeff, I would be glad to, but I see nothing on my screen except for the letter or the word Zoom. I can't see anything.
Well, we're all good to go. I promise you, we're up and running. So
Okay.
just pretend it's a radio interview.
All right. So you wanted me to talk about, okay, so I'm on Artist First Radio Network or artistfirst.com, and we air every Monday night, 8 o'clock Pacific time and 11 o'clock Eastern time. And it's a 1-hour show.
Excellent. So I'm looking at Artist First Radio right now. I'm on the main page. How would people find you?
If I could see what you're doing, I could help you navigate. You go down to the paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Go down to the paranormal section and you'll see it underneath there, Crypto Truth Seekers.
Gotcha. With Jennifer Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just pulling up your page right now. So this is Jennifer's radio page on Artist First Radio Network. Crypto Truth Seekers with Jennifer Collins, Mondays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. A variety of guests, authors, celebrities, paranormal, metaphysical, conspiracy theory, UFO, controversial news, and more. It's the place to get real news, facts, and theories. Try a program that's out of this world. Excellent. Very well done. So you've been doing a lot of work over the years with UFO, ETs, portals, stuff like that, correct?
I have.
So talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, I've had my own experiences, a little over half a dozen times. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of started to investigate after my own experiences, and I found that there were several other people that were having them. And so I used to always ask questions. But right now, what I'm into is there are 4 main ranches in our country. The Bradshaw Ranch, which is here outside of Sedona. It's kind of in the Kiva Montezuma area. It's about I think it's northeast of or northwest of Sedona, and they did a film there with an Elvis Presley film there. I think it was Runaway Joe or something like that. So that was filmed there. Well, the government.
What was the name of the city?
It's the Bradshaw Ranch. So it's outside. It's in the Verde Valley area. So you'd have to look it up. I mean, if I could see you or things on the screen, I'd probably help me to navigate more.
It's got to be an issue on your end because we're seeing you all finally. We're seeing you all perfectly.
Let me see if I can navigate. If I lose you, I'm coming right back on. Is that all right, Jeff? Because.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather see what's going on because it's sort of giving me a mind coitus. Hold on.
And you can probably drop your volume a little bit too.
Okay.
But you're all set to go. Everybody sees you. Everything's looking good on our end. And folks, while Jennifer's checking that out, I just want to remind you that if you do want to change your life, if you do want to get a hold of some great products, go to jeffreydaugherty.com like you see here. Click on click on Plastic Jesus. Click on the Mistech logo. Read about Mistech. Learn how it's helping me to sleep half the time, get twice the rest, improve performance in the gym, make it much easier to fast, improve meditation and other spiritual disciplines, gives me increased energy and vitality. Jen Fisher, our friend, says, OMG, I love my Mistech band. I feel fan-freaking-tastic, totally alive. You can check out all the products right here. And I want you to notice Halo's got the new ones on as well. So you can find out what you want. Here's the new I think he calls those solfeggio, but anyway, here's the new ones right here. Decide what you want. Come back to my website, put in your name, put in your email, say that you need a Mistech, tell me which one you want. I'll invoice you through my PayPal, and you get a full 20% off, and you get a hold of these great bands that you see me wearing. They have indeed changed my life. So Mistech.com, we're merging mysticism and technology, and I do wear and recommend Mistech to improve your life. End of shameless plug, but it's more than just a shameless plug, because it really is changing people's lives. And in fact, it was Jennifer that introduced me to Halo, wasn't it?
Yeah, Halo is an awesome man. He's great. He's incredible, full of energy. He's just the same way, you know, off screen as he is on.
And how did you meet him?
My daughter, she's like, you've got to go check out these tools, you know, because I had a spiritual coaching, and, you know, and I did quantum touch and other things. And she's like, you've got to go meet Halo. And I met him. He had kiosks. He had about 17 of them around the country in malls.
Right.
And so I went down there, and that's when they did the demonstration. And it was, you know, it sold me. And then I wore it, and amazing results. So
that's,
you know,
fantastic.
I'm glad
you're in Arizona, right? So you're in the midst of all of these different ranches. And when we're talking about ranches, they're not necessarily places with horses and cows, right? They're just big areas of land.
They were. So what happened with the Bradshaw Ranch? Because I wanted to talk about, well, there's 4 of them, but we're just going to talk about a couple of them.
Okay.
What happened with the Bradshaw Ranch was that the government found out, because it was the talked about everywhere as being the most intense portals. And if you scroll down, people can go to this site and listen to the videos. They say it's the second Area 51.
Interesting.
So the government took it over, shut it down. They took it over by eminent domain, to be honest with you, because they wanted like control to access those portals. They're not stupid. So they wanted to access the portals and to have control of the information in the land. And they took it over. And here's the interesting thing, where the fences were, and they built a few more. They said that they took it over to do some geographical, you know, testing on the land and things like that, but they never did it. People have done aerial shots. They never did any digging or anything like that. And
wow.
What happened was they put guards for quite a while. So just like Area 51, so you couldn't enter it. But that is not the only place that portal was. There's like 3-mile area. There's 2 other prehistoric Pueblo villages. And it'll say that on the site too, in the Verde Valley, that, you know, there's even a doorway that looks like it might go all the way to the center of the earth or something. So
no kidding.
Lots of activity there.
That sounds crazy. And here's a actual aerial view of it from Google Maps. So it gives you an idea of where the Bradshaw Ranch is. So it's up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Almost up to Flagstaff. So it's up the road from you quite a bit.
Yeah, it is a little ways away. I used to live in Prescott, Arizona years ago.
Okay.
So we all knew about it back then.
So Prescott's over here. Prescott, okay.
Yep.
And this is where, of course, this is where Ernst lives, is in the Prescott area. Ernst with the who did the Kala software, Cards of Truth, and the stuff that Heidi uses for the Vedic astrology. So here's the Bradshaw Ranch up here. And you're telling us the government took this over by eminent domain, claiming that they were going to do some geological surveying or something, never did it. Have posted guards. Are the guards still there, to your knowledge?
I don't know that right now, but if you scroll up just a little bit more, you will see the hot up going north just a little bit. There's the whole vortex. It's almost like not quite a triangle, but and I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but it's the Hananaki and Palaki heritage. And,
okay, that's the Native American areas.
Right. It's prehistoric, and you can see cave writing on there. You can see some of the villages that are caved in or carved into the rock and the stones.
Interesting.
When you blow it up, you can see it more. But yeah, it's a very interesting area, and also Prescott.
And the Hopi reservation's right there as well.
Correct.
And the Hualapai. So it's quite a extensive Native American land.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Interesting.
And it's filled with vortexes, but it was so, the phenomena there was so amazing that the government wanted to, access those portals.
Now, when you're talking about a portal, Jennifer, tell us exactly what you mean by a portal.
Well, a portal is like, we all know that there's kind of a veil and things like we can't see in other realms, and we can only see, and I'm not a scientist, we can only see so much with our light in this, in this arena here. And so there's like a veil or whatever, but a portal comes through that where, things can come in and out of it. And it's a lot of paranormal activity, UFOs, like there's the zone of silence, and that's cool. That is an aerial shot not too long ago. So they're not excavating there for sure.
Right.
But interesting that Elvis Presley did a movie there, which is
cool. The movie that he did was actually, he was a what do they call it? A supporting actor in it. It was a Burgess Meredith movie. It was one of Elvis's first before he became an actual star of movies himself.
Right. But there are locations and anomalies in almost every state. Believe me, it's not just Arizona, but they're prolific here.
Jennifer, this makes me want to buy a drone.
My cousin has one, and I'm telling you, so much fun. And you can really go and check out things like, that you couldn't access normally.
Do you have to have a license to have a drone, or can you just buy one and throw
I believe you do. You need to know, where not to fly because of airplanes and things like that, because it could be dangerous for, aircraft.
But I'm going up to the Georgia Guidestones in a few days. How cool would that be? Actually, I'm waiting for the Mistec delivery to come so I can go. And how cool would that be to be able to run the GoPro up above the Georgia Guidestones like this?
Well, this is why you need to have people that are sponsoring you every month so that you can dig in and do more and more and more, Jeff. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. If they're not watching cable and TV, and you don't have somebody that's paying, so that you can play commercials, but you want to go and travel to all these locations and destinations and give firsthand, like the History Channel.
Right.
Only I think it might even be better because, we're more spiritual. So
exactly.
you need that monthly sponsorship. But just like the zone of silence in Mexico is another anomaly where more asteroids, like there's magnetisms or something that bring these asteroids into that valley, and they're all over the floor there. UFO activities, I guess one couple got their car stuck there, and there were two kind of like Men in Black type people helped them get unstuck. They turned around and they were gone. So there's a lot of anomalies there too. But this is an area where there's been a lot of sightings and a lot of things that have happened, very strange and bizarre. And if people watch the YouTube videos, the couple that owned it, they'll tell you all about their experiences that were there. So it's one of the top.
Now, is this available or accessible to the public, Jennifer?
You can go around the perimeters, okay? And there's still in intensity. You can go all around. See, like there's little trails. You can see people probably taking bikes or, maybe ridden horses or something like that.
Right.
But it's the whole feeling of it. I've got a gentleman right now. His name is Marcos. He has Cord Space. He does a lot of web design and things like that, but he is an amazing, I want to call him a kid. He's 25 years old. He has his own company. He travels all around the country and has clients everywhere from New York and you name it. He's going to be my rogue reporter. He's heading to the Grand Canyon. He's going up to the next, there's the Gila Land Ranch, which is near Mount Adams in Washington in Trout Lake area. Gotcha. And he's going to do film there. And he's got another friend that has cinematography equipment that lives near there. And so James Gilliland is the owner of that ranch. That also has probably, because nobody lives on Bradshaw Ranch to, document and all that, because it was really popular way back then. But the Gila Land Ranch, they're still doing it almost nightly.
So nobody's there at the Bradshaw Ranch anymore?
Not living there, no.
Interesting. Well, let's see what we've got going on in the chat room. People talk about Mistech. Yeah, it's great stuff. You will not be sorry. You'll have to go, Rocker Chick, check out some of the, she's asking, what is the bracelet? You just go on the show that we did today and look on the site for the other Mistech ones. Great to see you back. I know it's been a little bit of a while. This is Jennifer Collins, Denise Marie, and we're talking about UFOs, ETs, and all kinds of crazy stuff. And Jen says, oh my God, I can't say enough to describe how freaking great I feel wearing this bracelet. I'm glad. And of course, it is Jennifer Collins. Did the ranchers or farmers originally own or work the land before the government took it? Do you know?
They had it for horseback riding and, you know, obviously some movies. It was open to for movies. Tourists. It was for tourists.
Okay.
Correct. And most of your folks probably know me in the chat room as Jennifer Baranski, but I go by my maiden name. But yeah, that's.
And somebody's saying, Jennifer, that there's supposedly portals in Moundville, Alabama. Have you ever heard of Moundville, Alabama?
No, I'm probably not familiar with that side of the country as much as up and down the West Coast. But That would be interesting to look at. I mean, I think it would be great to do.
And here's like a picture of Moundville, Alabama.
Yeah.
Because they're in every state. Native American related as well.
They're in every state. I mean, the Native Americans were here long before us white folks, and they communicated with them. And that was something else I was going to mention. The Vedas, the Zulu law talks about it. The Native Americans, they weren't afraid. They communicated.
Right.
And learned certain things. And we can go into another topic a little later if it heads in that direction. On that,
Jennifer, it looks like it's a trip up to Moundville, Alabama might be in order from Clearwater, Florida.
You could do that.
Because the crystal or the Georgia Guidestones are right about here.
Mm-hmm.
So not too far away.
Right. That'd be cool. You might want to ask them, like, or maybe find out some more information about what's going on up there.
Absolutely. Now, have you yourself been to any of these ranches?
I have. Years ago, I went to the Bradshaw Ranch, or the perimeter, let's just say, and that was quite interesting. And James Gilliland is going to be on my radio show. We were talking today. He wants to do kind of a affiliate with me and my radio station, and they have an event going on. If anybody can attend, it'll be in July, and then they have the big UFO Congress International Convention with the guy from, the History Channel, the big UFO guy from the History Channel, and probably 15 panel speakers in Scottsdale coming up in February. And it looks like I might be getting to go to that and volunteer and help them with their booth from the Gila Land Ranch. And
where is that? When is that?
Scottsdale. It's in February.
And it's in Scottsdale.
Mm-hmm, it's right in Scottsdale, and you can look that up. It's the it's the UFO Congress. It's got some amazing
and it's coming up this next February.
Mm-hmm. Did you find it online?
No, I was looking for something else. But I'm wondering. I'm thinking about maybe I could come out for that. That sounds like I could have a table in there and offer some stuff.
You could, because they do have booths. They're going to have a booth. I might go and volunteer. Normally, it's about $300 for the 4-day conference, but they have a la carte, so you can break it up and do, $50 to $100 a day or per session or something like that. But I'm trying to find.
Now, this is something that happened a few days ago. I guess it's been a couple of weeks ago now. I'm going to try to share the screen and show this. And if I remember correctly, this is something that you yourself saw. Let me see if I can get back over to where I just was. Now, didn't you actually see this thing happen, this light in the sky?
Yeah, I wasn't right at the location where it entered in, but I saw it flash across Mesa. Well, actually, the far side, kind of the north side of Mesa. Yeah, that one.
Wow.
It flashed, and then it looked like it diagonaled. So they said that it landed somewhere in Payson, the town of Payson or something, which actually is the opposite direction. So it had to have done something zigzag.
So they're saying that it actually landed?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes me think about this one here, because I thought that maybe this was just because they were up in the mountains that they got this perspective. But if you're saying that it might have actually landed
out in the middle of nowhere.
So that almost looks like it did come in for a landing.
It's huge. They're trying to say it was a meteor or an asteroid, and then it, it was maybe 5 feet, and then it went down to, whatever. It had to have been bigger than that. I've done a little bit of research on that, but yeah, Jeff, you should try coming. It's called the International UFO Congress, and you can look it up. It shows everybody that's going to be there, all the events. You could probably contact.
So Jennifer, when these things come in, I mean, look at this coming in, and asteroids don't make left turns like that.
No.
So bah humbug on it being an asteroid. I'm not saying that it was anything supernatural, but it certainly was not a asteroid.
We might not ever know. No. So the next one is the Gila Land Ranch. And like I said, he's going to come on my show, but they do a lot of events up there. They sit around and do drum circles, and you can get a private tour where you can stay at the ranch overnight. They do drum circles, and it's pretty much 100% guarantee you're going to see something. They've had up to 40-foot UFOs and orbs, and they have a sanctuary room, a meditation place. It's very enchanted there, to be honest with you. It's 70 acres.
And it's called the Gila Land Ranch?
Uh-huh.
And that's also in Arizona?
No, that's in the state of Washington. That's outside of Yakima near Mount Adams.
Oh, okay. I'm very familiar with that area. I actually lived up there for quite a bit of time.
Mm-hmm. But their website is ET, where their event is. Let me find that again. But powerful place. You will see things. They have photos on their website of a lot of the UFOs, orbs, and light beams and things like that.
Amazing. They call it the ECETI Ranch.
Yep.
ECETI Ranch.
Yeah, but it's the Gila Land Ranch, but correct. So it's on YouTube. It's all over. He's been on national TV and everything on and off for years. So
excellent. Very interesting stuff. So we're talking about portals where it looks like beings from another planet or from another dimension or craft from another dimension are entering and leaving our dimension, correct?
Right.
Interesting.
And there's one down the street from me that we haven't looked at yet that we just found out about. It's called the Devil's Vortex or something. And it's just in a little teeny hill. And it's kind of underground knowledge around here. So it isn't like extremely popular with tourists, but gonna have to check that out. That's like 20 minutes for me, 15.
Yeah, Rocker Chick says David Icke has been talking about these same things. Michelle says that our spectrum is limited. That's definitely true. Tiffany's complimenting you on your explanation of a portal. Mercury Messenger says they're having dreams of portals opening up above the earth. Michelle's talking about she feels like she's been going to other dimensions in her dreams. And the cats are staring at the rods. And Jen says, and I think this is directed at me, no more naked sun gazing with all the drones flying around.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, probably time to put a kibosh on that. We do need to get a drone. People are saying, yeah, a drone would be a really good idea.
Yeah.
And Rocker Chick was asking you something about the zone of silence, and I just missed it. Let me go back there and try to find it.
Zone of silence in Mexico.
And describe what that is again, please.
So it's like a magnetic pole. You know how there's ley lines?
Yes.
So it's like a magnetic pole that intersects there. And so a lot of times your radio, your car sometimes won't always work. Things go off there. And a lot of the comets and asteroids that come down, they land there tons of them. They're all over the land.
And Rocker Chick is asking, is that a place where things don't grow or they grow strangely?
Yeah, I believe that is. And I have not been to that, but
yeah, Rocker Chick has asked a lot of great questions. She's got a lot of good knowledge.
Here's another one. My friend Marcos, he went to the Panama. There's a city called Volcano in Panama, and there is another ley line where it's a hill. It's a very steep hill, and he was in his car with his friend. You don't have to push on the gas. Your car will automatically just gravitate to the top of that hill. He jumped out of the car and he said, Jen, he said, I could feel it in my heart, in my chest. It was pushing my body up the hill to the top of the hill. And then when you go down, your car and everything will go faster. I mean, it pushes you. So it's like another kind of anomaly.
Hello, Violet Flame. And Catherine says that she's planning to go to the Ascetti Ranch this summer. She loves listening to James Gilliland. Now, folks, literally the only reason why, you know, I have the RV, the only reason why I haven't got in it and gone around the country is the need to be able to pay my bills at home and pay my bills on the road. I mean, you're on the road, RV's getting 10 miles to the gallon. You got to pay 40 to 50 bucks a night to park it. That's why we're doing the Mistech thing. And like Halo told you today, don't buy it from him, buy it through our website. And that's going to allow us to go to Gilliland Ranch, to go to Bradshaw Ranch, to go to the place we talked about in Alabama. And we're literally going to hit the road and go full time on this. So if you get something that's going to help you, get it through me to help me as well. Trish sent me the Aleister Crowley's numerology profile. Thank you, Trish. I'll take a look on that. We do ship anywhere and everywhere, Kent, so don't worry about that. Deborah says that this channel's helped open her eyes immensely. I appreciate that, Deborah. And
well, Jeff, you're so good at what you do. Really, people do need to support you. If you want to get the drones and you want to get the, you know, the equipment that you need and to be able to travel to do some of this and come and see some of the people that talk about where they live, where it's at, and we can investigate wherever you go. You come here, you know, we've got a group of people, we can go do it. And, you know, that's what helps. Monthly sponsors help a lot.
Jen, I appreciate that. Have you been over to Sedona? Someone is saying that Flatman is saying that Sedona also has portals.
They do. Yeah. When I lived up in Prescott, I did. I newly moved here not too long ago, but I plan on, I've got a bunch of places. They just sold the Stardust Ranch for $5 million. That's another one. And that actually is 45 minutes for me out towards Buckeye, which is way south Phoenix. And that's another one that is more, is it nefarious? Like really, you know, like his wife would levitate out of the bed and these ETs would try to take her out the door. And there was a monster-like creature with some sort of a weapon saying he was protecting the property. And I mean, the most
like Stranger Things.
Oh my, it's like Skinwalker Ranch. I'll tell you that. Those two are more nefarious. Whereas the Bradshaw, the Gila-land, I mean, you go there and this is what James says, James Gila-land. You know, if your heart is and your intent is pure, we can be, and I say this, he didn't, but we can be our own portals and vortexes.
Absolutely.
We're a channel. We channel things all the time. Sometimes we think it's our thought, that sometimes we get collectively a channeled thought or from somebody who's thinking about us. So if our heart and our thoughts and intents are pure, it's nothing evil it's not going to be a Pandora's vortex or a Pandora's portal. But so at that ranch, they meditate a lot. They do a lot of things to try to keep whatever's going to come in there to be really good. And he's gotten a lot of revelation and information. And, you know, you have to investigate and decide what you want to believe or what you don't. But it's worth checking it out.
Jennifer, tell me one more time the name of that conference that's coming up in February.
It is called the International Congress? Yeah, you can pull it up on your website real quick. International UFO Congress.
Okay. Is MUFON part of that, or is it?
No, the guy from, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Okay, so sorry. You know, Mercury retrograde has kind of got to me lately.
International UFO Congress. And where is it?
It's in
Bob Lazar.
Scottsdale, and it has, I'm trying to look at their guest list because
I'm pulling it up right now.
Speaker,
is this the Wekopa Resort one?
Yes. Now pull up the speakers. Okay, so Dr. Williams Bernas,
is this the right one?
Yeah. So hit on the speakers. And that's a beautiful area, by the way. I used to live in Scottsdale also. Come
on. Okay, here we go. Linda Moulton Howe, Bill Burns, Stephen Bassett, Mike Carter. Yeah, you know a lot of these names.
Everybody.
Jennifer Stein.
Yeah.
Why isn't Jeffrey Daugherty speaking here? I don't understand.
Well, see, I'm getting media credentials from Scott, and I'm
Travis Walton. Good guy.
We should interview some of these people if we can catch them somehow.
Interesting. Yeah, I think because I have a book, about UFOs, aliens in the New Testament. I think that would go well over here at this.
Yeah, if you could bring some and Mystech and all that and do a booth, that would probably be.
With Mystech too? Now you're thinking, Jennifer.
See, everybody that's attending there is all in this type of community. You would rock at that. And
I need to
probably do phenomenal sales.
Coming up February, I need to get all my ducks in a row.
Yeah, maybe Halo would come down too and help you, or I'll be there. I can volunteer at a couple of booths.
Boom, that's worth the $300. I'll tell you that right now.
So I will tell you, the deep dark state is controlled and is in communication with the reptilians. So there is that side, and it's part of the whole rat bastard pack. You call him rat bastard. Now I'm calling him a rat bastard pack because there's more than one.
It is a pack, isn't it?
Right. And I believe that he was part of, this is just my theory, the construction maybe of the planet and the solar system. But then he kind of tried to put this, he wanted to keep us dumb and slaves or servants or worship him or whatever. And
Jennifer, he's doing a good job. I hate to say it.
He is. And so here's the key. The Elohim has their procreation. I don't like to call them angels. They're light beings, they're demigods or whatever.
Okay.
They have to break through kind of what he set up and come through vortexes and portals. And so politics and religion has shut the door and either said, oh, it's all evil, which there is some that's not good, or whatever, or they just try to say, well, if the government isn't attesting and disclosing, then we're not going to believe in it. Well, they've been around for decades, Jeffrey.
Yes.
And they, that's all I have to say. Like I said, the Vedas, everything, the Indians, American Indians, they were used to this and they weren't afraid.
We're having ring battles tonight.
Oh, are we? Your rings are bigger than mine.
Yeah.
This is amber. This is amazing for solar plexus.
This is red. That's all I know.
Okay. That's yeah.
So why is this something where you could go out, take a lawn chair, take some of your favorite beverages and sit out around these places and just observe the sky at night, play your drum, do some meditation and actually see orbs and things of that nature?
Yes, I've seen the most prominent one that I saw when I finally started to realize that they've been kind of watching me a few times over the years. And I believe I got some downloads. I mean, I was in Christian, just the same as you were, in Christian ministry and everything like that. And I had churches up and down the West Coast that, they saw amazing healings that happened. But I believe they were contacting me on and off, and I couldn't totally explain what was going on.
So you think the UFOs were contacting you personally?
Yes, I do, and I can explain that probably on another show.
Okay.
But finally, when I saw, and I did call MUFON before I moved down here, I saw one in the direction of that Gila Land Ranch because it's just a couple of hours, and my backyard when I opened it up would go that way, and I saw a big one, and it was there for like 15 minutes and slowly started to descend. And when I called the MUFON up in Seattle, he Googled and he said there were no meteors, no asteroids, no satellite. He goes, you probably saw one. Well, when I saw another one like that, I finally said, okay, I see you. All right, fine. And you're blinking, it was blinking kind of like almost like a blue and amber. And I said, okay, well, blink blue for yes and red for no. And I had a few questions and it did. So, but I wasn't open to it because of all the years of conditioning, churchianity. And but I know that I had a lot of, you know, special gifts and abilities that were extremely powerful, and I'm sure they were investigating. But
you know, up to about I think it was probably a year ago now, I had never myself seen a UFO. I'd never seen, it wasn't that I didn't believe in them, but I just never saw one. And I was living on a lake in Orlando before I moved back over here home to Clearwater. And I was out one night, and it was a new moon night. So I was out there doing like a new moon sunbathing, new moon energy thing. And
okay.
for the record, Jennifer, I did have some clothes on, so I was not naked.
Well, you weren't mooning the moon? Okay.
I wasn't mooning the moon at this time. Although I was out there, you know, and it was nice because I was out there by myself. It was nice grass. So I would, you know, many times ground myself, lie on the earth. And it was, and sometimes would do it, what do they call that, skyclad? But at any rate, this time I wasn't. And I was out there watching, and for some reason, it looked like a star way, way up in the sky caught my attention. And as I looked at it, it started coming down towards me, and it got down probably, I'm thinking about a 10-story building, like maybe 1,000 feet, 800 feet, kind of sat there and hovered. It didn't have any blinking lights. I couldn't see any shape or form to it. And it just like it was observing me, and I was observing it. And then all of a sudden, boom, it just shot back out at the blink of an eye back to the size of a star. So that's the only UFO that I've ever seen. But that definitely was an unidentified flying object that I observed that night.
Yeah, and we've all been watched. It's just they're not all as nefarious as people want to say.
I agree.
You know, but the government would like to do, whether you want to call it a false flag or whatever, they would like to do something to say that, you know, they're going to destroy us to get more control.
Yeah.
So, but you know, they've been around for a long time, and it's been proven that they're, like the video you did the other day from New York Times and
right.
This out in sea, they're around nuclear ships that are in sea, and they're around nuclear plants because they're watching to protect us. They've shut down nuclear attempts back in the 50s or 60s.
You know, Jen, you mentioned the thing about them trying to do a false flag and have it Jesus related and so what. And you may think this is ego. People may think this is arrogance, but you know, now that, you know, I've been talking about this for about 5 years, we've been on Coast to Coast 7 times and talked about it each and every time. I think that because we're getting the information out into the public, that we're almost preventing their ability to try to pull off a Jesus second coming type of false flag by putting this information out. And just think of what we could have done if we'd have known about 9/11 beforehand and told people they're going to do this, box cutters, you know, all of this. And we could have prevented 9/11. And I think that we are going to be successful in preventing the Jesus second coming. But then we have to keep ourselves ready, because what are they going to do next if we foil that idea of theirs?
Well, you know, speaking of that 9/11, and before I say that, I'm just going to say it. You talk about it as your bling. So
blink,
whether you're around or your blink. Okay, sorry.
This is your bling.
This is your bling, yeah. All right. Well, we use our blink to help our blink. So,
exactly.
So if you saw something, I am sure you would feel the energy and the vibration of it if it wasn't good. Like I said, there's some that are not.
Right.
You would know it, or if you did, you would feel it like James did, where it was actually good for us. But speaking of 9/11, that's another thing I was going to mention. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. I could talk about stuff offline a little bit, but my aunt worked for in the Pentagon. She was right there with Tom Ridge going into the safes every night.
I remember you telling me that.
Putting her fingerprint with Tom Ridge to put in documents for the satellite program, NORAD, Area 51. She told me a few things. I should probably take some of it to her grave, because she went blind a little bit after that completely for a few years, retired, and then her sight came back. So something happened to her. And
now,
so
Tom Ridge was the governor of Pennsylvania, I think, before he went to the cabinet or something, wasn't
that was her boss. She was right there, and she was the head of like a bunch of programs. So, I have a little bit of, insight to some of that also.
Absolutely. And Jason says that he likes my style. The majority of the world's brainwashed, religion is spiritually enslaved people, and that people that actually tell the truth are labeled nutcases, among other things, Jason. That's for sure. Earthlink says Arizona is full of this type of activity, just like you said. Here's something, Jennifer. How do you think about this? Secret Service says that, and I'm not sure where Secret Service is coming from, but they say that they were told that by looking at these UFOs and orbs, that you can invite demons into your life.
They were told that, the Secret Service?
Well, no, his name is Secret Service.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking. Okay. Okay. Again, you're going to know the energy of something. If you have a being of light come in or a guide come in and it's, benevolent, you're going to know that. If it's malevolent, you're going to know that. But orbs, here's what, and I agree with James. I agree with a few other people. It's different. You will see an orb, and a lot of times they'll say that it flies around their home, or you'll see it outside. They'll see little orbs, and then it disperses. Sometimes you see it enter into somebody or whatever, but it disperses. It's supposed to be containers of light knowledge.
Interesting.
Light, like it evaporates and the knowledge is downloaded. So again, if you're protected and you got the Mystech or whatever, or you've got, everything in line and you're protected in every way, and there's lots that you and I or other people in this community.
Funny you should mention that, because we are trying to develop a band that will help ward off unbalanced entities.
They can't enter.
Yep.
There is no way that they can enter and take possession of anybody, whether you want to call them demons or entities.
I agree.
Or dark energy. So if you're all light, there's people that have orbs around them all the time that are just, they call them little fairies or whatever, but they get.
Just maintain your divinity, your sovereignty, and your freedom. You're going to be fine.
And be afraid of nothing, then.
Yep.
You will be afraid of nothing if you do.
Now, this is one of the times where I hope that Violet Flame can get her stuff together, because this would be a great show to bring Violet Flame on, because I'd love to hear Violet Flame talking about her experience and her belief and her interaction with angels in regards to what we're talking about. I think that would make a fascinating discussion. So Violet Flame, we're waiting on you, and we need your knowledge. So get yourself to the place where you're ready to get out and start doing your stuff, because we need you. Wouldn't that be amazing to be able to talk to her about how angels would relate to this? And are we seeing angels, or what's going on in that whole realm?
Right. And you can call them angels. Angels are also messengers. You can call them angels, beings of light, whatever you want to call them. A lot of times the connotation for me was like Old Testament angels. One angel wiped out 186,000 people, and another one was going to try to kill. So they were, nefarious sometimes to me. But if you want to call them angels, and they are good, and they're good beings of light, then absolutely. And I'm sure they're out there. I mean, you could, thousands of years ago, they maybe didn't call them angels, but you could call them that. I have no problem with that.
This is not an ET. This is a CAT.
The all-seeing cat eyes. I love that.
He just wanted to come in and say hello. I like what Sophie Starseed said. She said, we don't need the government to tell us these things are real. We already know, so we don't really need disclosure.
True.
Rooney, what's your opinion on UFOs? Do you believe in UFOs? Have you ever seen a UFO? How about, have you ever been abducted? No comment from Rooney. You run along.
It's a beautiful cat.
He's a good boy. Yeah, I agree with that. We don't really need the government to tell us. We do already know. And Tiffany asked us, why is everything unusual called a ranch? And Gravity Storm Deborah says that she loves drum circles. So you're saying that the James has drum circles and that it actually brings in the UFOs?
Yes, that's how I saw it even years ago when I first saw it on TV. So
those would obviously be benevolent ones if they're coming in response and to spiritual response.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Lyndon's back in the house. Haven't seen Lyndon for a while. Good to see you. And it seems like the Native Americans had a real affinity with these things that we're just starting to try to get back to and trying to approximate.
Absolutely. They want to keep it from us. They've been doing this for a long time. Religion, too.
That's true. Somebody says they're going to invent a new drinking game. Take a shot every time Jeff says interesting. I say that only because I really am interested and I find it really, truly interesting. So I'm not sure, it's not just a throwaway word for me. Now, Jen, the other Jen Fisher, says that she's heard that the Greys were bio drones or avatars. What do you think about that?
I think that they're inhabited bodies that are kind of like, that is one theory, and it certainly is plausible that they could be something like that. But they seem to be, they can walk through walls or go interdimensional. So she might be right. I mean, it's a good thought.
Interesting. There's so many people in the chat room. I'm trying to run through and get to all the questions, but there's so many. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to them tonight. Skinwalker does sound a little bit freaky, somebody said.
That's like nefarious. Yeah, that's not a good place. Well, that's in Mormon country, but
it is. It's up in Utah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Violet Flame is underlying what you said, that we are definitely portals ourselves.
Yes.
And you can use your mind to travel anywhere, Violet Flame says, and I totally agree with that.
And you should be your own gatekeeper of your portal. So, you're going to call who's going to be let in or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% true. And it's just, I think there's so much that we can wake up to. There's so much that we really need to open our eyes to, because there's a lot going on. There really is.
Yeah. Our subconscious has been programmed for a long time, Jeff, to something tells us, oh no, that's not good, and it's all evil, but that's part of our religion. And
yeah, and some people have accused me of favoring Violet Flame, but the way to get favored is to say really interesting things a lot in the chat room.
She does.
And Violet is just saying that she thinks these things have been around for a while, and the fact that we're starting to notice them now is indicative in her mind that the matrix is falling or failing.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was in a starseed, because she is very intelligent. I mean, a lot of your people on there are intelligent and they're intuitive, but yeah, she has some great comments.
Absolutely. And I think she may be right. I think the matrix is failing. I think the matrix is falling. And while that's good news, it also means that the people that are in charge of the matrix are getting desperate. So we need to keep our eyes peeled, as they say. We need to keep our eye on each other's six, as they say, because they may be trying, they're at a point of desperation. And, the old saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. So they may be trying to throw everything at us, including the proverbial kitchen sink. So we just need to be awake. We need to be aware. We need to quit fighting each other over silly things. We need to have each other's back, and we need to really put the pedal to the metal and get ourselves to the place. We really are the last generation of real humans. It really is time for us to get busy. And I do think that the matrix is falling or failing. Do you think that could possibly be true, Jennifer?
Absolutely. And I believe that there are enough people awakening. There's been a huge awakening. And back in Christianity, it was always, revivals. We're awakening, and there's a lot of people leaving the church.
We can have a revival in the spiritual world. We can have a revival in the paranormal world.
And that's what it takes collectively. And it'll just, we could bring this whole thing down, Jeff.
Absolutely.
Not a huge amount of people, but a fair amount of people.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that Rooney just showed up and came over here, and he was looking up at him. He wanted to come up and see everybody. I think the energy comes right through the YouTube.
Cats love me. I'm sure he heard my voice.
Deborah Tucker saying that something attacked her cat yesterday in her house, right in front of her. She didn't see anything, but the cat started screaming and ran under the bed and wouldn't come out for hours and hours and hours. So your pets can be very intuitive. Your pets can be very adept at seeing into the spiritual realm. I'm not saying, and especially with cats, they have the same reaction to a moth or a serial killer. So you have to be a little bit careful with it, but it doesn't hurt you to kind of get into in tune with your animals. I know dogs are the same way. They can give you some real good heads up with these type of situations.
Absolutely.
There's also a bridge in South Carolina, says Jonna, that things go uphill called the Ghost Bridge. See, all these places that we can go to.
Oh.
There's a place in Eastern Canada where things are pulled up a hill as well. It's got to be magnetism, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, there's one in South Oregon too, where your compass will go haywire and you'll feel backwards, and you're kind of, it's totally like being in the fun house at the carnival or something.
Interesting. Trisha G, a great, I call her numerologist extraordinaire. She's asking, are you on Facebook, Jennifer?
I am, but well, Crypto Truth Seekers is Facebook, or my personal Facebook is Jennifer Joy Baranski, and that's my personal one. I do a lot of postings on there. I have photos and different things, but either one would work. Yeah, I would love to talk to Trisha. She's a phenomenal woman. I feel a lot of energy when she talks. I'm a little afraid to have Heidi do my Vedic astrology because I'm so used to the Western one. I don't know. She might find some Rahu and Ketu and who knows what, but it's okay.
She will too. And just a programming note, unfortunately for me, but Trisha's been asked to be on a radio program, and that's going to preempt our normal Sunday show this week. It is Christmas Eve anyway, so unfortunately, I won't be able to spend time with Trisha this Sunday, but we'll pick that up again next Sunday. So best of luck on that radio show, Trisha, and good for you. Tiffany says she's heard something about the Cape of High. Have you heard of the Cape of High?
Where's that located?
I don't know, and I haven't heard about that one.
You'd have to look that one up, I guess.
A lot of things in Sedona as well, right?
Now, oh yeah. Here's another thing.
Cape of Horn, she's saying.
Cape of Horn? I have not.
I think that's in Africa. I think it's in Africa.
Here's another thing. Even in California, the latest trend is infrared cameras are picking up dozens of what you cannot see with a regular camera of UFOs. You know,
it's funny you mentioned that because I have a friend who's a retired doctor, and he got a hold of this infrared camera that was like Soviet era technology, this old infrared camera. And we would stand out on this bridge and just look around the sky, nothing. You look through that infrared camera and you can actually see orbs, craft. I don't know if it was picking up satellites in the sky or what it was picking up, but you can actually see craft that are up in the sky that you can't see with the naked eye. You can see them infrared.
Yeah, that's the latest for UFO watching now too.
So I wonder if they're UFOs, or if it just enables you to see the satellites orbiting the Earth that are of natural origin more clearly.
That I don't know.
Interesting. If anybody in the chat room understands that, let us know. And I tell you what, we keep talking about Mercury retrograde. I was born in Mercury retrograde. That probably doesn't surprise you, does it, Jen?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me. But today, I mean, you did a video on, the solstice being really, really bad. Well, I'll tell you what, I had the best day ever.
Absolutely.
Everything I was doing, like making something around my house, I had the dropsies. And then your email that came got booted out, and a few times my phone. But as far as other things, it was an awesome day.
I love Mercury retrograde. It just, I don't know why, it just seems to work well for me. Mercury Messenger asks, is the Earth transforming into a new Earth while entering a portal and affecting our reality, causing the Mandela effect? Wow.
That's another show, Jeff. I have some theories on that, but that's...
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. And Deborah Tucker's cat is fine. She's fine after today. Deborah saged her house, and the cat is fine. Jennifer, have you ever looked in, Joe Harper asked, to missing people from national parks?
Have I ever looked into what now?
All the people that are going missing in national parks.
No, I've heard through the grapevine some of this that's going on.
Interesting. Interesting. Rocker Chick asks, can psychic attacks really hurt you? People thinking bad thoughts about you.
You can feel them,
Yeah.
but if you're shielded, it's almost like if you were in an airplane and you got hit, but it didn't take you down.
Exactly.
You can feel the bump. You can feel the wave.
And Violet Flame again says that she relies on astral travel and remote viewing for her information more than anything. Interesting. She says she's going to try to find a way to teach that. Violet Flame, you got to get on the show. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, girl. What are you waiting for?
And you can actually, Taylor B says, can you actually leave your body? Absolutely. And the funny thing is that we were created with that naturally a part of us. It should be easy for us. We've just forgotten how to do it.
Well, Jeff, if you don't mind me adding, a lot of people that have never done it, they probably have and didn't know it when they were sleeping.
Very true.
I have seen this with somebody that I was living with that didn't believe in any of this stuff. And 2 times within a few months, I would wake up, my eyes wide open, and see this person go down the bedroom, out the hallway, like as if it was a spirit. And I thought, what is that? He was leaving his body. Come to find out, he didn't tell me this years ago. He was given some, things by a guru, and he was kind of investigating into transcendental meditation, but he hadn't done it in years. So we do sometimes leave. Some of our dreams are more like we've left and we see into this virtual landscape.
Absolutely. Violet Flame puts us in, and I have to chuckle because I feel the same way. She says, I can't stay in my body.
Yeah, no, I love that. It's great. I'm in 2 places at once a lot of times. So.
And Tanhawk Group says that he watched Violet's new video. Says great job, and it was a great job. Very interesting information. And again, we're looking to get her on this channel, get her going. Just flowing through the rest of these questions. If you have anything else you'd like to bring up, Jennifer, please go ahead as I scroll through these questions.
Well, I mean, I think I brought up everything for tonight's show. That's a lot of food for thought. There's a lot more, but they're a lot longer subjects if I brought up anything else.
Catherine Marsh says, and I think this is a very good statement. Catherine Marsh says that not all ETs are demons. And I think that's 100% true. 100% true. Do you feel like that you have to protect yourself when you're around these things, Jennifer?
Not the ones that I've seen.
Okay.
Like I said, if you do, okay, and here's another thing too, your ethereal body or whatever, if you've got everything in order and trained, your shields go up like automatically. Have you ever felt that when you're around somebody and you just feel an automatic whoop like this? It's almost like you will know automatically.
Absolutely.
And not that I have not encountered some very, whatever you want to call it, dark energy, demonic energy, whatever. I have.
Right.
And I can tell quite a few stories about that with helping other people.
In Violet Flames, I don't know if it's her first or second video, she did about how to protect yourself during astral projection. I think it was the second one. So you can watch that and get some really good ideas too. Jen says that she sees them in her mind's eye and they try to communicate with her telepathically. Very, very interesting.
They often do. Absolutely.
They often do, for sure. How about a real giant Santa and reindeer? Let me tell you a funny story, and maybe we'll close with this. We've got a ton of people in the chat room. It's been a very popular show, but I was dating a woman about 5 or 6 years ago, and she's a very intelligent woman. She's was a Taekwondo 5th or 6th degree black belt. She's the one that trained me in kickboxing and Taekwondo. Intelligent woman, rational woman. She was, kind of into the stuff that we're into a little bit. Of course, I was just into it a little bit at that time. But I mean, here's a grown woman. I mean, she was, I don't know, 15, 20 years younger than me, but, grown woman. And she would actually, on every Christmas, She literally sees Santa. She sees Santa with her eyes. She verbally sees Santa. And after talking with her and after, thinking about it and sharing with her, I believe 100%, Jennifer, that this lady sees Santa for real. I don't know if she's seeing a tulpa that's been created through group manifestation, or she has her own personal tulpa that she sees. But every year she will see Santa. He will acknowledge her presence. And this woman's probably close to, I'll be 55. She's probably getting somewhere near 40 now. And I'll guarantee you she still sees Santa every year, and she really sees him. What do you think about that?
It would depend on what Santa is saying to her before I could make a comment.
I don't think Santa says anything. She just sees him come in, put down some presents, and he kind of like winks at her or something, just the Jolly Saint Nick thing. And but she really sees him. And
power of intention.
Her mother's seen him too.
Did they act surprised the first time it happened, or were they not surprised? I mean, was it like, because the power of intention?
The girl's always seen him, even from a little girl. So to her, it's just commonplace. The mom was rather surprised when she saw Santa.
Who's to say? I mean, it could be a tulpa, or it could be many things. So
I think it's a tulpa, but very interesting. So that goes to show you, not all tulpae, which is the plural of tulpa, are you got me, they're not all malevolent. They can be sometimes nice. Native Pride says, first time on this channel. Nice to see you, Native Pride. I'm glad you're here. I hope you will come back. Taylor's saying no beings can hurt you while astral traveling because they can't touch your spirit. I don't know if I would go there. You can get your ass handed to you in the astral realm. Be ready. It's not a place to play. It's all about intention. Don't buy that. Be careful. And it sounds like you agree, Jen.
I absolutely do, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Violet Flame's going to get a lot of views on her video. You know in your gut when something is not good. Yes, Jennifer Collins. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds positive to me. People in many other countries are open to the reality of ETs. You can always do your 12D shield that Lisa Renee taught me, and I've taught you many times. I think Trisha has been to the U.S. before, and I'm just trying to run through this. And I think
she should come back.
She should come back. We would love to see Trisha over here.
She's lovely.
Absolutely. Secret Service says, do you do any private work with people, Jennifer?
Yes, I have. Over the years, for many years, I have. Yes.
Okay.
I'm working on a website right now. Like I said, I did it up there. I had a website up there, and I had my own office and all my implements. And I also use like DNA repair tuning forks and things like that, and very intuitive.
Interesting.
But I also do distant healing, QT, things along that line. So I will have a website up shortly. I'm in the process of working on it now and redoing it. That's including the radio show and everything. But
excellent. And let's close with this question from Rocker Chick. It says, Jeff, ask her what is happening when you feel like you're falling and you slam down into yourself and then wake up.
You've left your body and you're coming back home.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
You've left your body. So chances are, if you remember your dream during that time, it wasn't a dream. It was, it was not a dream. So it's happened to me before. It happened to me right around, which I can talk about at some time, the Mandela effect. I left my body during sleep time, and what I saw was amazing. So
absolutely. Well, folks, this is Jennifer Collins, Jennifer Baranski. I'm glad that you came on the show. Everybody is asking for you to come back on the show, so we'll have to make this a regular thing, Jennifer.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for having me on. You're a great host, and keep up the good work.
And we're definitely going to get out there to Phoenix and do some events with you. Rex is talking about doing some events, so we want to do that. And, Jay Campbell's right near you. Wayne's right near you. So we could get a great, Ernst Wilhelm's right up there in Prescott. We could get a lot of stuff crack-a-lacking out there.
Let me tell you, a lot of people that do these investigations are either doing it for pure business. Sometimes they're skeptical, and some of the metaphysical people are doing it. But you get a group of us there, I'm telling you, we're going to have big disclosure. Something big will happen. It'll be amazing, and it'll be life-changing and altering, both for our lives and your viewers. And
Jen loves Jennifer, so good. That's good.
Is that Jen Fisher?
That's Jen Fisher.
Oh,
and I can see a bunch of us out there with our lawn chairs, some nice beverages, some drums, watching for the UFOs and communing with nature and with the other world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. This is Jennifer Baranski, Jennifer Collins, radio personality, person of great interest, and she's really getting her stuff kicked off again. So go to her. Tell us one more time your radio station.
Artist First Radio Network.
Artist First.
And it's Crypto Truth Seekers.
Radio Network.com. I'm putting it in, and it's Crypto
Truth Seekers. And one day we have to do a whole nother fundraising to get Trisha over here too. She's such a part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So remember Heidi Vandenberg, Channel 27, Rex Bear, Leak Project, R. Wayne Steiger. Remember Violet Flame. Remember Dan from Overwatch Channel. Visit all of our great friends, all of our great sponsors. Violet Flame says she's ready to come on. Email me, Violet Flame. We'll get it rocking and rolling. For Jennifer Baranski, Jennifer Collins, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty saying thank you for being here. Continue to unindoctrinate yourself. Jennifer, stay right there for 1 second, if you will. I'd like to say goodbye to you. And Absolutely. I'd like to salute the rest of you that are here seeking after truth. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you again next time.